Good morning, everyone, and good morning, Bobcats. How are you doing today? I don't know if you can guess where I'm at, but I'm actually at Washington. It's not the same without you guys here. It's just be walking around. I'll be walking around, and then I miss everyone. I miss the sounds of children playing, learning. We really do miss you guys. Just a shout out to all the students who are doing so well in their Google Classroom. You guys are doing amazing. It's been a pleasure just signing into some of those classrooms and just seeing all the amazing work you guys have been doing. I especially loved all the Earth Day art projects. You guys just did an amazing job. Also, don't forget, today is Disney Day for our Spirit Day. So make sure that you send your pictures of you in your Disney gear to Miss Coca via like Instagram or Facebook. Yesterday was awesome. I love seeing all you guys with your pets. You guys are probably very responsible with them, making sure they're fed and all that stuff. You guys were awesome. So don't forget Disney Day. It's going to be a good one. I can't wait. I don't have any Disney gear, but I'll do it tomorrow for sure. All right, so we are on chapter 9 on Charlotte's Web. We're kind of getting through this chapter on page 55, and the book is only 165. And I already know what book I want to read next is Freak the Mighty. I don't know if you guys ever read that book. Probably kind of a third grade, fourth grade book. It's a really good one. So that's going to be our next book. I'm really excited for it. All right, so let's get started. Wilbur's boast. Boast is just like bragging. All right. Spider's web is stronger than it looks. Although it is made of thin, delicate strands, the web is not easily broken. However, a web gets torn every day by the insects that kick around in it, and a spider must rebuild it when it gets full of holes. Charlotte liked to do her weaving during the late afternoon, and Fern liked to sit nearby and watch. One afternoon, she heard a most interesting conversation and witnessed a strange event. "You have awfully hairy legs, Charlotte," said Wilbur, as the spider busily worked at her task. "My legs are hairy for a good reason," replied Charlotte. "Furthermore, each leg of mine has 7 sections: the coxa, trochanter, the femur, patella, the tibia, the metatarsus, and the tarsus." And I apologize if I said any of those ones wrong. Wilbur sat bolt upright. "You're kidding," he said. "No, I'm not either." "Say those names again. I didn't catch them the first time." The coax, the trochanter, femur, patella, tibia, metatarsus, and tarsus. "Goodness," said Wilbur, looking down at his own chubby legs. "I don't think my legs have 7 sections." "Well," said Charlotte, "you and I lead different lives. You don't have to spin a web. That takes real leg work." "You could spin a web if I tried," said Wilbur, boasting. "I just never tried." "Let's see you do it," said Charlotte. Fern chuckled softly, and her eyes grew wide with the love for her pig. "Okay," replied Wilbur. "You coach me, and I'll spin one. It must be a lot of fun to spin a web. How do you start?" "Take a deep breath," said Charlotte, smiling. Wilbur breathed deeply. "Now climb to the highest place you can get to, like this." Charlotte raced up to the top of the doorway. Wilbur scrambled to the top of the manure pile. "Very good," said Charlotte. "Now make an attachment with your spinnerets. Hurl yourself into space and let your drag line as you go down." Wilbur hesitated a moment, then jumped out into the air. He glanced hastily behind to see if a piece of rope was following him to check his fall, but nothing seemed to be happening in his rear, and the next thing he knew, he landed with a thump. "Oomp," he grunted. Charlotte laughed so hard her web began to sway. Did Wilbur really think he was going to grow a web? I don't think so. I think Charlotte was just kind of playing a little joke on him. Charlotte laughed so hard her web began to sway. Sway just means kind of go back and forth. "What did I do wrong?" asked the pig, when he recovered from his bump. "Nothing," said Charlotte. "It was a nice try." "I think I'll try again," said Wilbur cheerfully. "I believe what I need is a little piece of string to hold me." The pig walked out into his yard. "You there, Templeton," he called. The rat poked his head out from under the trough. "Got a little piece of string I could borrow?" asked Wilbur. "I need to spin a web." "Yes, indeed," replied Templeton, who saved string. "No trouble at all. Anything to oblige." He crept down into his hole, pushed the goose egg out of the way, and returned it with an old piece of dirty white string. Wilbur examined it. "That's just the thing," he said. "Tie one end to my tail, will you, Templeton?" Wilbur crouched down with his thin, curly tail toward the rat. Templeton seized the string, passed it around at the end of the pig's tail, and tied 2 half hitches. Charlotte watched in delight. Like Fern, she was truly fond of Wilbur, whose smelly pin and stale food attracted the flies that she needed, and she was proud to see that he was not a quitter, and he was willing to try again to spin a web. While the rat and the spider and the little girl watched, Wilbur climbed again to the top of the manure pile, full of energy and hope. "Everybody watch!" he cried, and summoning all his strength, he threw himself into the air, head first, the string tail behind him. But he has neglected to fasten the other end to anything. It didn't really do any good, and Wilbur landed with a thud, crushed and hurt. Tears came to his eyes. Templeton grinned. Charlotte just sat quietly. After a bit, she spoke. "You can't spin a web, Wilbur, and I advise you to put the idea out of your mind. You lack 2 things needed for spinning a web." "What are they?" asked Wilbur sadly. "You lack a set of spinnerets." And here's a picture. There's Wilbur and Templeton trying to do the tie the string on them. And then here's the other picture of Wilbur and Templeton, right? And then you can see Charlotte right over here in her web. "You lack a set of spinnerets. You lack knowing how. But cheer up. You don't need a web. Suckerman supplies you with 3 big meals a day. Why should you worry about trapping food?" Silver sighed. "You're never so much cleverer and brighter than I am, Charlotte. I guess I was just trying to show off. Serves me right." Templeton untied his string and took it back to his home. Charlotte returned to her weaving. You need it filled too badly, Wilbur," she said. "Not many creatures can spin webs. Even men aren't as good at it as spiders, although they think they're pretty good. And they'll try anything. Did you ever hear of the Queensboro Bridge?" Wilbur shook his head. Is it a web?" "Sort of," replied Charlotte. "But do you know how long it took men to build it? 8 whole years. My goodness, I would have starved to death waiting for that long. I can make a web in a single evening. What do people catch in Queensboro Bridge? Bugs?" asked Wilbur. "No," said Charlotte. "They don't catch anything. They just kept trotting back and forth across the bridge, thinking there was something better on the other side. If they'd hang head down on top of the thing and wait quietly, maybe something good would come along. But no, with men, it's rush, 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 every minute. I'm glad I'm a sedentary spider." All right, so we'll stop there. This chapter is kind of long, and I don't want to bore you guys. So that's it. All right, so just to recap, Wilbur thought he could be a spider and cast a web and make a web, basically. Charlotte just kind of played a little joke on him and told him, basically, go for it. Templeton helped him, but obviously Wilbur can't do it because he's not a spider, right? And that's kind of interesting, right? So everyone remember we talked a lot about this and throughout the book is purpose. So the purpose of the web is so Charlotte can catch her food, which are, insects and stuff like that. But Wilbur doesn't need to do a web because he gets fed by Mr. Zuckerman 3 times a week. All right, guys. Well, that's it for today. I will join you on Thursday. Maybe we can go to the garden and see what kind of insects we can find. Maybe we can actually find some spiders and see if we can see any webs and stuff like that. All right, guys. We miss you. We love you. We're thinking about you, Bobcat Nation. It was great to see a lot of you at the parade. All the signs are just amazing, how much we miss you just as much as you miss us. I loved one of the signs that said Bobcat Nation. I was like, yeah, Bobcat Nation. All right, guys, we love you. We miss you, and we will see you soon. All right, stay strong, stay safe. Make sure that you are still participating in your Google Classrooms. I love seeing all the work that you guys are doing, and that is it. Keep it real. Peace out. Bye.